Good afternoon, everybody. Or at least it's afternoon when I'm recording these. Um, Following up on our work with transformations, we are going to be looking at reflections. Okay, now a reflection is when we take a figure that we have and we flip it. Okay, we're going to be creating mirror images. Previously, we talked about sliding the figures, okay, which was translating them. Now we're going to be flipping them, which is a reflection like a mirror. Okay, so, oops, this did not get updated. So we're going to fix this right now in our notes. Okay, a reflection, which is a flip, is a rigid motion over, okay, the line of reflection. There has to be a mirror point at which we're flipping. For most of the ones we do, it's going to be the y-axis or the x-axis. Okay, remember y is vertical, x is horizontal. But it can be any line that you draw. Could be a line of reflection. It doesn't have to be the x or y axis. Okay, the line of reflection itself, okay, needs to be, for our purposes, a horizontal. You can do diagonals, but we're not doing that. Horizontal or vertical line, okay, where all points are measured against. Okay, often it is x or y axis. Full disclosure, it could be a diagonal line. We are not going to go there. There's several other kind of layers involved in order to do that. The line of reflection, okay, equal distance from corresponding points. Very important to see, and this example is a good one. So I started with, or the book started with, triangle ABC. Okay. Then it got flipped. Okay, so this was our start, this one right here. And you can tell by its labeling, it got flipped across the y-axis. So A, which was 1 unit across or away from the y-axis, now got moved to A prime. Again, 1 unit. B, which was 1, 2, 3 units away, is now 1, 2, 3 units away. And C, which was 2 units away, is now C prime is 2 units away over here. Notice on my copy, okay, and I'm just going to shade this copy in a little bit. My copy, maybe, there we go. Every point is labeled with a prime. That is the big deal. So when it asks you, hey, did this translate or reflect? Well, if it had translated, it would have stayed with the B pointing to the left and would have slid over. Instead, reflecting means it's a complete mirror image. Okay, so you're going to be looking for a mirror image. Okay. Now, let's take a look at a couple of these in practice. Again, I made some pieces that are movable. We are not translating. We aren't sliding things around. So if I took this image, okay, and it left its mark here, and I flip it, notice how it makes a complete flip across the x-axis. So this is called reflected across x-axis. That's what's happening right here. And here's how we do it on paper without little cutouts. This point is already on the axis. There's usually one point that remains, well, not always, but often there's one point that remains touching the point of reflection. 1, 2, 3 points away. 1, 2, 3 points away. Okay. 1, 2 points away. 1, 2 points away. Now, if this had been labeled A, B, C, this new one would be labeled A prime, B prime, C prime. And I could connect the dots. And for color purposes, this isn't easy to erase, so I'm going very gently at first. Okay, and it doesn't have to look perfect. Okay, but notice I have kind of a butterfly looking thing here. Okay, A, B, C reflected across the x-axis looks like A prime, B prime, C prime. But not everything we do is triangles. It's not how it works. Okay, and I'm even going to step it up a notch. Okay, and we're going to use a trapezoid. So again, I have a trapezoid. Now, to be honest, I could reflect this trapezoid against that line. I could draw a line right here where x equals 2. I could reflect across that line. Okay, I could reflect across y equals 10. Or I could reflect across the y-axis, which is probably the most common thing we're going to do. So again, A, B, C, D. And when I reflect, because I'm using this access point that it's already touching, this becomes D prime. Okay. B is 1, 2, 3 spaces. So that becomes B prime. A is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces. That becomes A prime. And now you're seeing why graph paper is so helpful here. D prime's already marked. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 units. That is C prime. Again, I connect the dots. So as you can see in this unit, we're not really doing calculations. It's a very, very much a drawing and a spatial unit, which for some of you is going to be amazing. Okay. So now I have, let me zoom that in a little for you. Trapezoid ABCD reflected across the y axis. Okay, because y is the line that's dividing them. All right, we will do some practice with these, recognizing them and manipulating them, and I will see you guys soon.